Since 2014, our country has been plagued by divisive forces. TMC is in Meghalaya with the mission to empower the people, uphold the ethnic cultures and traditions, celebrate the sacred land. To oust the proxy BJP government from Meghalaya, be the change, support TMC by calling on 96877 96877.
Muda kesini Alpo tarik Nailan, I play kini kakot jong I ba Aldes isa Aldes Maulong, kabakir teng Deuce, but nga kerpat berbaro banyak puli lemar ka ai kejing sultanat but kejing bi yang bangin puli susu bangin yo shibun kejing bentoy na kakot jong I sa Aldes Maulong. Congratulations sir.
Thank you.
Ka Vice President juga Gracious Givers Foundation kakong Norin M Dunai hakas ngisajan kala plait ba ekakot Deuce bala thoh thoh Ophisar barim ka Jylla bedairu unong thoh bapau ba Aldos Maulong ketika kot ka bahaka ketin French kamud arteli kadika khanash pangki arngut kata kakim bad Jezebel kania kadika kot ka basau jong ba Aldos Hadien kakot April Ferry College bad kasuli Riki Habakran bat kelap patai kubor Hadien berada ban plait ba ketika kot ba Aldos ula batai benya kumno upoi tho ketika kot kabaki ba klem artatin kin sengutanat ban pulai ka hadu ka bakut kakong norin ka bedairu ka Mrs. Shillong 2019 habakran Hadien berada plait ba kot kalaong bekas ngukuman hadu kata-kata ban yu pule ya ketika kot bala penwandur sengutanat da unong tho kalaong ru ba unong tho lembak ketika kot ula percang ban pha kubor bah preng ka jingka dum ulo kadang don pat ke jingkarman layo ru ke jingkran naka Mrs. Classics India 2019 kakong piralin nong bet kabal ailang ka jingaro ketika kot kabau ba Aldos ula tho bat penwandur bah uba Aldos sakini kasngi ulai turu ba ula penlut por hadu saus nam ban pendap ketika kot namar kade ka ba utho lengko-lengkot bat penwandur pat kum ka khana ka pura
UK and a financial management from the University of Georgia, USA. He dabbled in music, having secured an A grade from All India Radio and Business until he joined the civil service and retired in 2021. Deuce is his fourth book, preceded by April Fairy Collage, Soliloquy. His poem The Quest was selected by the Poetry Society for India for its anthology Voices of the Future, and he had also been awarded by the same society for his poem Tsunami. The author is a keen promoter of art, and his name is synonymous with the fashion show, a beauty pageant, and publishing the annual traditional apparel calendars. In the capacity of chairman of Fashion Society Shillong, a post which he has held for almost 40 years.
Overwhelmed, standing here to launch the book of Sir Aldes Maulong, the book called Deuce, and few lines which I feel I should read before starting with. The great Anglo-American journalist Christopher Hitchens once said, "Everyone has a book in them, but in most cases, that's where it should stay." What he meant here is that not everyone has the potential or ability to create beautiful books, though they lead a colorful and memorable life. But seeing Sir Aldes, he is not only a well-renowned bureaucrat, but he is also a man with extraordinary, excellent words. I see him after reading, I have read the book Deuce. He is a man who has the potential of stitching words into beautiful sentences and bringing those characters from the book, from the story tales of Kim and Jezebel. What I understand, they bring a marvelous characters portraying where we keep wanting more of what next will happen. And what I understand by this book is that in the midst of the dark clouds, there is a ray of hope, love, dedication, hard work, and good will always triumph over obstacles and evil. That is what I understand after reading this book. So, kaya kabanga kwa bangan kren halakin tiyan na jong hanik po bangan nuat ban ong ba na ka kendo mayroong ojong mintapat Nidon sa uway, antor, uway pat umilong. Uba, lingba ka jingto, lingba ka jingmo jing pakajong pilala, but pinsandur, wandur, hagi kitintian, but how kulang kserjong ban pin sultanat, but pin kabi ingi, bangin sultanat ban puli, but ngi kimi linti ki epat ki ba pin mi shushu, ban pin to shushu, haka ban I'm in sim, yaki kena samla kamtam, ki nong to, bagi tian pareng, the new budding authors, writers, poet, will get inspired by your writings, by your excellent words, beautiful words. And I feel that you'll inspire them, not that you will shine like a rainbow, but also you will give this glittering shine towards the youngsters. That is what I feel by reading this, that it inspires us. Namalba, haba ngang jungit, ba baro, but haba ngalit shunshunuro, ngajukan ni kanikantir hiba, baro ni don na ijong isam. Baro ni don na ijong i binta, ba ublay kay kandat, ula ay hangi, henre, kasyong happy hanga, kumnum baging pinjanaya ka. But hangri ngay iba isa, alders maulong, idon kasapla, kaba ila banto, bantar, ban pinwandur, ye kito kikana, puraskam, lemi kikana, ba shisha jongpi, kiba pinsotanat shisha ni ban puli, ban kintu ba baro kinya puli, but kinwan ra shisha ka jing mentoy, but piru pinlong kanuksa, optang yeladi, but pin pashat ka jing kanuksa, ye kikana samla, ba kiru kinwan shakamat, ba kinsotanat begin yok ka jing mentoy, na ukulam ksyar, ba jongpi. Tidak kini kikintian, but menta kasing kalong kasing kabakemen, ba nang ni chakamat bang aduay bo blito kanat on ay pi kamet bakoy bakia, bakina pen mi shushu kikintian kis ba sultanat kikintian ki ban pinso tiang ni kanang ba ngin sultanat bangin kwa shushu ban puli hakikot ki ban nang wan ki ban pina pen mi. Dan kini kikintian ay kadish boni pi baro.
We wanted to launch this book. This is my fourth book. I'm only starting on my fifth book. My sincere thanks goes to God Almighty, first and foremost. Then the Gracious Givers Foundation, by Ivan and his lovely missus, Noreen Majori Dunai, for having helped to print the book, put it in the right perspective, and their very able staff, Jampang Rani, who could not be here, who had done the editing with me, the proofreading, and all the well-wishers. You are here because you have a feel and you have the heart to be together, even though it's a small, simple function. Thank the media, all my friends, society, all my relatives. So to start with, the book was inspired in bits and pieces. I don't write a novel like that. I write 3-4 novels at the same time. Because when I get an inspiration, it doesn't gel with, say, novel number 1. So I start something new. And bits and pieces come, and it took me around 4 years to finish this. And Jezebel came out of a kind of fictional inspiration on reading the Bible, the second book of Kings. Like, I thought this creature who, was predicted to be killed, thrown from the parapets of a tower and be eaten by dogs, already prophesied by the prophet Nahab that this will happen. So inspired, I said, this spirit should live on, it doesn't die there. And let us have a good storyline people will enjoy. So these two novelettes in one collection are vastly apart in subject matter and even the storyline. And I'm already working on my fifth book, like I said. It's again a collection of quotes. It's called A Sauntering of Thoughts. Now, in the literary scenario, I find a lot of talent in Shillong, or even in the state, to publications when people contribute poetry, short stories, sketches. But I think there is still a lack of a forum where we can get together, especially the young ones. They need to be guided. Number 1. Number 2, there is a lack of publishers, good publishers. Most of the publishers I find now, they want to make it into a business, They say, give me so much. But then I want to see some spirited contribution from the printers and the publishers especially. They do the proofreading, they do the layout, the cover, everything should look good. The package of the finished product should look good. So I stand here today to kind of announce that we have a plan to join hands with all the authors, the writers, even the young ones, the script writers, the poets, so that one day we'll have a big get together convocation or a seminar where we can all contribute, a kind of a workshop. It will not be a one day affair, it'll be 2 3 days affair. And we can group in artists who paint, who do mimicry, all that.
I had had the pleasure of knowing Mr. Maulong for a years now, and yet I continue to be in awe of his talent. My warmest greetings goes to Mr. Maulong, along with a heartfelt congratulations for achieving yet another milestone as a writer, and a pleasant day to everyone present in this room. Allow me to say a few words about how Mr. Maulong and I came to know each other. Mr. Maulong has always been a promoter of talent and arts. He ardently moves with the intention to help the local talents find a stage. So on such grounds, our paths were crossed. And on one such programs, Mr. Maulong discussed with me about his book, hinting at a possible review from me. Having read his previous works like April Fairy, Solaloki, which are nothing short of brilliant, I couldn't help but obliged to this offer. That's why I stand here today to talk about the book. Deuce is Mr. Alder's fourth book, and it has been beautifully spun into 2 sets of yarns. I use such metaphor to apprise you of his ability to weave words into a fabric so unusual, with texture that keeps us readers in constant state of awe. Deuce revolves around the characters Kim and Jezebel. Kim is a love story of sorts that chronicles for you the irregularities and imperfections of relationships. This story is a reminder of our humanness. Like the characters in the story, especially Rock, we are always in quest for love, for somebody to understand us, for someone who will meet us halfway and mirror our heart. Jezebel, the second story, is about the supernatural and elements of reincarnation. To put it rather colloquially, this is a good one. The author's literary prowess is clearly seen in this work, especially in the seamless flow of narration. The story transcends from the unexpected to the most eerie and hair-raising situations and circumstances leading to some gruesome incidents.
This book is called Deuce. Deuce in French means two. So the first novelette is Kim. It's about a reckless musician who grew up in the 70s, born in the 60s, grew up in the 70s, had a band called the Leather Jackets, and then they changed it later to 2B and 2B, 2 boys and 2 babes. And he went through a lot in life, having deprived of the basic roots and a kind of abandoned childhood. Later, he met the ravishing Kim, all fictional, who had roots from Bhutan in China. She was a good drummer, also a singer, and they teamed up in the band and eventually fell in love until both of them found their roots, because Kim was also an orphan, just like Rock. So this common thread brought them together. They went through thick and thin, but they cared each other. It was a true romance, and at the end, They were married. And moving on to Jezebel, which is a story from the second book of Kings of the Old Testament of the Bible. When I read the story, I was quite intrigued and inspired to write something, make her come alive again, because the prophet Ahab had said that she would be killed, thrown from the parapets of a tower, and be eaten by dogs. It really happened. Uh, Jezebel came into the lives of ordinary people. She seduced, she exploited, she killed. She was a sorceress. She was the devil incarnate. So this story is left open-ended because when they tried to burn her into ashes, a gust of wind came and blew the ashes to the jungle, and her deformed being, an image, comes out once in a while that they call the jungle, Bhoot jungle, which is kind of a jungle that is haunted. So this is my fourth book. The first was April Fairy, poetry, then collage, poetry, soliloquy, a quotation, the book of reflections of everyday things, all original. And I'm working on my fifth book, again, a book of poems. Yeah, I started in bits and pieces, like I said, my storylines, my novels, I don't start A to Z. I get inspired, I put it in one diary and then somewhere, manuscript. And whenever I get inspiration, I see where it fits, whether it fits in story number one, number two, number three, number four. There it goes. Similarly with poetry and also with reflections. I just keep on writing, I get inspired. But the thing is, you lose sleep sometimes. Inspiration comes at 2 in the morning, at 3 in the morning. Earlier, I said, okay, I'll write it in the morning. And when you wake up, you've forgotten. You lost precious gems of, in the literary world. So now, whenever I get woken up, I have an inspiration. I have a diary, I have a notepad, a pen, I write it down. This is a thought, but I'm going to take it forward because especially the children, the youngsters, they need a platform. They need good publishers with a heart, who will really edit, who will really do good proofreading, good layout of the cover, and the book, the finished package should be really, really good. So we need that. And in this platform, we'll have not only writers, but painters, maybe even singers, anything artistic. So then I was dreaming of having, a seminar, maybe a 2-day seminar, a conclave. We could all get together, express the aesthetic talents that we have inside us. We who are senior citizens will hold hands with the younger generation, help them build a platform and create one big literary family.